All right, it's time for our sci-fi, fantasy, and weird selection. It's been a while, and we have the Invisible Man. Look, you can see him even though he's not there. The Invisible Man. There we go. All right, The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. This is my 14th book I have read. Is it? Yes, for the sci-fi, fantasy, and weird exploration that I'm doing that I started about a year ago. 14 in less a year. That's not bad. I think I'm doing okay. This one was written in 1897. It's not my first H.G. Wells. I did also read The Time Machine. That was actually my first sci-fi, fantasy, and weird title. So this is kind of a fun place to come back to. Although I wish it was more fun because I wish I enjoyed the book more. I did not enjoy the book very much. This one follows an invisible man. First, we're from the perspective of a town where he comes to town and he's all bundled up and he's very irate and mysterious, and he stays at an inn and does all these strange experiments and doesn't want to be disturbed, and everyone's like, who is this person? Why can't we see them? Why is he so mysterious? And so it felt like it was going to be this kind of like conversation about how people perceive and engage and jump to assumptions about people who are different. So it felt like kind of more like Frankenstein, you know, like some of the conversation I felt like that was happening there. And so it held with that for a while, but then like as it turned on, as it went on, we started more following the Invisible Man himself, and he was very like just I don't know, just a horrible person, a horrible character. He didn't care about who he affected or impacted negatively. He felt totally justified in doing anything that he wanted, and even sort of was kind of saying that he was the victim here, and his rights superseded anyone else's because of the horrible situation that he was in, which he got himself into. So I don't know. I don't know. One thing I can say though is I certainly don't think it's trying to support people doing this kind of thing and acting in this way, and I think there's really an argument for saying that if you do not have any accountability, be it invisibility or something else, people can do things that they normally wouldn't, or you know, they will. Like for me, I always feel like the argument that, you know, if if you can get away with something, you know, you will. I don't like that argument. Like saying that people will, if they're not held accountable, they will do things that are against sort of like a moral code. And I felt like this book was kind of going there in terms of the things that he was doing, in terms of showcasing that. I don't think it's supporting that as an idea, but I do feel like it's presenting that. And that's something that I do feel is not the case. I don't think generally people are going to do that, you know, like that they're going to steal or hurt people or rob people just because they know they can get away with it. And, you know, as far as I know, invisibility doesn't exist, so there is no guarantee that you're going to get away with it anyway, so just don't do it. Like, it's just wrong. You know, it's like saying, you know, like, it's like a catch-all for, like, wrong, you know, like, behavior being okay because of getting away with it, and I'm, like, not comfortable with that at all, and I don't think people really, I hope people wouldn't do that, you know. So anyway, so yeah, wasn't really a big win for me. I am happy that I have been reading more older works, be it like other H.G. Wells or Lovecraft or Herland, other titles, so that when I'm reading it, I'm being able to mostly engage with the story and understand the story instead of sort of struggling to sort of like get it because it's so dry, because this is dry. This is really dry. And it does one of those things where there's like at some point it feels like the narrator comes in to sort of see how we're doing with the story and, you know, talk to us. And I always find that very confusing. I'm like, who are you? Are you a character? Or like who's talking to me? It was very disturbing. But I think it's just a writing style that I'm not that familiar with, and The Time Machine had it a little bit, but it wasn't as direct. Like it was a little more like, I'm going to tell you a story, and this one I felt didn't feel like it very much was in that structure. The different pieces of it felt like they were different perspectives. Phantom of the Opera felt like that a bit too. I felt that was a bit confusing in that sense. Anyway, so but yeah, it is science fiction, that's for sure. I think it would, even in terms of subgenres, would go into sort of like the mad scientist kind of thing, and maybe the invisibility did change him in some way, but there wasn't really anything to support what the character was like before he was invisible to provide any kind of contrast or anything. So like that the invisibility is what made him mad. But I think situationally there is something to be said for feeling like alone, like, and the only person in the situation, and that's interesting. I don't feel like it was super coming to it from that angle, but there is an interesting take there. I also will admit that I was initially quite affected by the fact that I have seen films that, and this is, you know, if you watch any sci-fi or fantasy, like this is definitely something that you see in film TV. You know, I'm sure there's Buffy episodes. I'm sure it comes up in other TV stuff. Um, I'm sure it's been on a Star Trek episode. Anyway, but I've seen the 1933 film, and as this starts out, it is very similar. It is a very not traditional, faithful adaptation, and then to a certain point, and then I can't remember. And I remember like liking the movie because the innkeepers where he stays are women. Like the women in power are actually the people in power at the inn are women. I was like, that's really awesome, and that's true for the case in the book too, which is really awesome given it was written in 1897. So I was like, yay! So that was a win. But like other interpretations of this story, like whether it's like Hollow Man, hated again the theme of being able to get away and take advantage of people and get away with things. I'm like, no, it's just wrong. Don't you have any like ethics? Like, don't you have any moral code? Seriously, really. Just so disturbing. That is a really disturbing thought. So anyway, I don't know. It was a quick read. This version was 150-ish pages, but I mostly read it actually on my Kindle, and it is public domain, so if you're interested in checking it out, I will leave a link to where you can get it on Kindle. But overall, didn't love it. Didn't love it. I've had a rash of books that I'm just not loving, and it's so sad. I don't know what to pick next. I guess with the sci-fi, fantasy, and weird titles, I am currently reading 2001, and I believe that that's on the list. I'm in the middle of it right now, and I am enjoying it. So, but I think I need to pick some ones that I really, really want, and which, you know, I don't know. Anyway, any suggestions? I'll leave the link to the list below if you want to check it out. I have it over, I think the easiest place to see it is on Goodreads. So leave that below if there's any winners on there that you think I should dive into next. I would greatly appreciate any recommendations. So let me know. And also let me know, have you read The Invisible Man? Is there something that you really got out of it that I didn't pick up on? Because I'd love to hear it. So, all right. See you at the next book, video, vlog, something soon. Thanks for watching.